Welcome to Tran Winds Emerge, Cities of the Apocalypse. This is post-commentary for this episode. It'll be, this is all stuff that I recorded kind of offline. That's what I call when I make footage without the microphone running. Generally, it's just if I don't expect to do anything exciting. So I'm just, in this case, what I'm doing is I'm playing through some of the maps. And I'll start recording perhaps when I begin the map and when I end the map. For no real reason other than to show that things are happening. Rather than, for example, suddenly you're on episode 10 and I have 5 maps completed, and then suddenly it's episode 11 and I have 50 maps completed. So in this case, I have everything explored a shot, and then I win in about 33 turns. And there's really not much to say about that. I have plenty of experience playing the scientist class. That's a good class for me to play. That was the requirement for the 4 science quest in Famagusta. It gave me a very good bonus, though, starting with 250 crystals. This means that I can unlock a party slot immediately, so I start taking that with me pretty regularly. Rather than, for example, something that I can just research in about, 5 turns. I can have an ally immediately. I can start accruing XP, I can start using their benefits. I think the me of, say, 10 years ago probably wouldn't have thought about getting anything short-term like that for the immediate growth of something. Now in this one, I'm particularly proud of how fast I completed this. 26 turns to get 30 sectors. To complete Hi Ho, you needed to get 6,000 credits through freelancing. That's, again, not anything difficult to pull off. Now, Post-Nuclear Adventure was kind of different. So you see a little bit more footage from this one. What you have to do is you have to claim the Vault 34 sector, Vault 34 city block, and then bring it from 0 defense, or 1 defense or whatever, to all the way up to 100. And in this entire map, all city blocks are losing barricade strength. So the first thing I do is I make my way over there. I don't stop for anything. Right now I'm kind of planning out my moves, thinking about whether or not I can get repair bots and whether or not it'll be worth it. I didn't quite realize how much deterioration there was in the sector blocks, the city blocks. Since this is my first time running in this map, this region. So it's a good thing that I actually do make a move straight for repair bots. There's the first time I see something like that. Looks really nice. I feel that me going for that, however, the minus 10% infrastructure is going to hurt, so I skip it, even if I could scrounge up the money for it. Alright. So since I'd already located where Vault 34 was, I just keep heading for it. An interesting thing happens here pretty soon, though. Now, a battle happens, 38 zombies, and I do the best I can, but unfortunately it's just not enough. They quickly overwhelm my defenses, and I have to retreat. That's not the interesting part. The interesting part is me now knowing for sure that if an area is disconnected, you still maintain control of it. So now my Vault 34 is going to be kind of its own little isolated island here. Remember that areas don't gradually repair in this particular region. It's one of the more interesting concepts. It's not one I would want to play often, though. So the place that just got wrecked is going to be in dire straits for some time. So when you play this region, you'll want to bring things like barricade, repair units. So what I decided to do at this point is start gathering up the areas near the stronghold so I don't lose the stronghold. I don't want it to suffer any damage or anything, so not the stronghold, I'm sorry, Vault 34. So I start securing that area. Now, I haven't even secured the stronghold itself yet, but I'm focusing on Vault 34, because that's what my mission objective is. I really think about starting to repair it, but then I decide that there's no point right now. I just need to use that AP to actually get more power, because I still need to claim enough sectors to win the game. And at this point, I hadn't quite fully understood that I was going to lose barricade strength about every turn. So it's a good thing I did. Otherwise, all that would have been wasted. Now you'll see that I pretty much only have the engineering side researched. I went straight for repair bots. So now I'm doing better, I think. At this point, I go and count out, or by this point, I've already counted out how many more sectors I needed, and I've already planned out what sectors I'm going to claim. So I'm going to scout out those 3 to the top, and I'm going to claim those 3 in the bottom to round up my 30 sectors. The fewer sides I have exposed to the zombies, probably the fewer times I have to deal with getting attacked. Now what I'm doing here is I'm moving some scientists into my party so that I can get their Tech Hunter bonus. Because I haven't researched any defensive structures yet, so I'm not actually producing any turrets. So I've got 41 now, but when I take the scientists out, I have 31. So just moving them over allows me to get an extra 10 research. So this is the current state of my Bannock garrison. Of course, the protagonist or the manual control soldier is doing most of the work, as you can see. Like an unfair amount of the work. What I prefer to do is scout out areas I don't plan on capturing, so that I can be aware that there's an army on my doorstep. But places I plan on capturing, I don't generally care. The army sizes are all about pretty much the same. I mean, either it's ridiculously easy or it's just going to feel like it takes forever. There's really nothing that currently that I need to plan for. For example, in some games you'll see that there might be one kind of unit there, so that you would bring a certain kind of equipment, item, or party member. But in this case, in this game, it's always pretty much all the zombies that have been uncovered, and large amounts of them. So it's just basically how fast can you kill things. For example, spitters, I think they appear on like, what, wave 30? So by wave 30, you may want to think about that when you have like energy weapons as your primary means of damage distribution. But you don't actually have to scout the enemy sectors in order to know do they have spitters or not. It's just assume they have spitters and you'll be right most of the time. So I go through the effort of swapping out the soldiers because you can't manage your team if you walk into an enemy zone. You can only manage your team if they attack you. I would like to see a change where units in your reserve pool also count for passive bonuses like Tech Hunter, so that you don't have to continuously do this. It would allow more reason to build up people who aren't your active combatants as well. Give you more strategies that you can employ. Now my priority is to start putting things into manufacturing, because as you near the end of the game, putting things into economy will not pay you back. Okay, I have everything I need as far as the number of sectors go, but I have not completed the objective, which is to fully repair Vault 34, so I need to start on that. So now that I've completed the number of sectors I need, it's time to start working on Vault 34. I no longer need infrastructure, but it feels a little weird to sell it. Alright, you can see that started at 12 and went up to 16. So, in likelihood, repair bots added 5, bringing it to 17, and then just deteriorated by 1, dropping it down to 12. Alright, so each use of my repair button adds 20, and it's not 100 it turns out, it is 1,000. I need to bring it up 1,000 points in barricade strength. Frankly, I think we should move our stronghold in there. Alright, so this part is another fast-forwarded part like the previous battle. This is where I start switching all my economy units for workshops. Because as I said, the economy becomes less important towards the end when you're not worried about long-term income. So I start replacing everything with workshops so that I can get more turrets and deal less with sitting in a battle shooting zombies. Now, I really like the flamethrower, even though it creates a few burning zombies as a side effect. For cost per damage, the statistical rating of it is fairly high. Now, today is May 22nd, the day I originally recorded this. Let's see here. Vegas is telling me May 8th. I'm trying to remember everything as best I can. I also observe how high my infrastructure is getting, which turns to pay out later when there's a mission that says I have to get like 1,000 infrastructure, and I'm thinking like, if I hadn't done this time, I would be hesitant to embark on that journey because I would think, oh man, I would never get that. But in this case, my infrastructure is just skyrocketing. It's getting out of control because I'm not claiming any new territories. I don't care about claiming new territories. If I do that, my turrets per sector, my overall defense drops, supposedly. I don't really know how the automated turret defense system works. I just see that it says per sector, and I remember the tutorial, I think, saying something about the more sectors you have, the less effective your turrets are. So I stop at 30. I have no real reason to continue fighting for and defending areas and taking up more time doing that. I just want to complete the mission and move on. It might be a little bit different if you could take something with you besides one war asset, which it doesn't matter what I do at this point. If I spend 80 turns here, unless I find a better item, it's the same thing I'm going to be dragging out of here if I finished right now. Now there's an ability called Barricade or Repairman or something that says improves repair strength by 50%. It does apply here, so instead of repairing 20 a shot, it repairs 30 a shot. So something like that will also help you when you try to repair Vault 34. Now, each battle lasts somewhere between like 5 to 10 minutes. So I generally cut them out, especially out of the offline recordings. But I have felt that the frequency and the duration of the battles are not well balanced. You'll see that with Repairman, I'm actually getting 30 per repair at this point. But I wasn't paying attention. If I remember, I wasn't paying attention the first time I was doing this, so I wasn't sure I was actually getting anything for it. So I test it later, if I remember correctly. I test it later to see what I get. But as you can see, I'm getting attacked. Not quite so, like right now, there's no zombies that can attack me. And that allows me to continue to build up my turrets as well. Now, obviously, they do attack me from time to time, but every turn that I don't get attacked is a turn that I can continue to build up my turret army. So I tested it out, saw how much it gave, and I see, yep, it's 30 here. So I now know exactly that Repairman applies for this map. I wasn't sure if it applied for the hit point and barricade item in the combats. Because it sounded, I don't know if it sounded like it'd be an awkward usage outside a battle. Even though it would make more sense in a fictional way, I suppose. As a game programming sense, you would think that they were kind of more picturing combat utility rather than outside. So even though it was unlikely I was going to get away with having scientists, I go ahead and put the scientists back in my team. But it turns out to work well because I have enough turrets to defend myself, at least from an initial attack. It doesn't mean that if they kept attacking that I would be able to defend myself for all eternity. But what I believe to be my logical perimeter setup around the stronghold and Vault 34 is paying off in that I don't get attacked nearly as much. Just out of habit, I bring Joshua in whenever I bring Tony in. So now my combat team has Repairman, and my scientists, give me science. I've got 134 flamethrowers left. I lost 40 from that, so I could get attacked 3 more times just like that. Now, I felt fairly confident I was not allowed to bring any guns. But I was almost 100% sure that I could not even look at my character's inventory, so I had to drag his gun out if I wanted to even give it a shot. I did want to bring the mod with me, though. And I always feel a little unsure about confirming that I completed my objective. Completed it by turn 33. I had 22 more turns to fully repair Vault 34. Looks good to me. I go ahead and grab a territory just in case I find an event or item that I want to bring with me. No such luck, so I go ahead and move on out. So it turns out that indeed I cannot bring a weapon with me, but I can put a mod in there. So here's the next section in Banach. It's called Crystal Clear. I have to secure 30 city blocks without building any crystal farms. I think the hardest part of a challenge like this would be remembering it as you're slogging through the endless zombie hordes. Like, you'll do a fight and then you'll come back and you think, oh, I need crystals, and then you build a farm. I didn't have that kind of misfortune, but I can very easily see that happening to somebody. And perhaps in the future I will do something like that. So I'm not saying that somebody who does that is bad. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm just saying I can very easily see that being an issue. I think it would be better if the game did 2 things about objectives. 1, that the secure button did not appear until you completed your objective. I mean, why make you double confirm it? Either you won or you didn't. 2, if you can't build a certain building, have it clearly labeled. What I mean by that is, there's a future map that says only mines are available, then don't allow us to research auto turrets. Don't allow us, and have that like clearly indicated in the tech tree so that you don't work your way towards it or anything. Now, if I remember correctly, the text that indicates that you can only build mines wasn't entirely clear. However, always relying on the exact terminology to be followed can put you in some sticky situations. So you kind of also have to apply some flexibility when reading rules. That kind of flexibility also allows you to turn rules into your advantage as well. In any case, you'll note that my populist here has a blue rifle. This is an incredible gun. It is so amazing. It only requires 2 points in rifle and is far superior to, like, say, a level 20 rifle. If you ever find it, put it on a guy and then don't even bother leveling up his rifle skill until there are no other minor skills you want him to pick up. What I mean by that is, if you see crap skills and you have a choice between rifle and, like, I don't know, small guns and then some crap skills, go ahead and get rifle. But if you see some skills that will benefit you, like targeting, eagle eye, leadership, or whatever, get those first before you start leveling up rifle. The main benefit to leveling up your weapon skills is so that you can equip newer weapons and get a small, very small damage and accuracy bonus. But with this gun, the blue weapon that only requires 2 skill points, it does phenomenal damage. It is extremely accurate. It has all those wonderful perks. So you're better off leveling up other skills that allow you to use that gun more frequently. For example, with 3 levels of Eagle Eye, you'll be able to aim 24% further into that darkness than, you know, the half the screen. Alright. And so that could get you, I don't know, let's say it can get you a whole round full of shots at any zombies that appear for the rest of the game. Versus, I don't know, an additional, let's say 0.3 damage. I have the data written down somewhere. Because I started making, I pretty much write a table for every game I play. But let's say it gave you an additional 0.3 damage and 15 accuracy points or something. By the way, the max accuracy is 200, so you can easily hit that. So my suggestion is, if you ever find that rifle, feel free not to level rifles up for whoever's using that gun. Now, if you choose to continue leveling up rifle, that does allow you to pass that gun around to other people, which is what I do in another map later on. I continue to level up rifling on my soldiers, and whoever is the weakest guy gets to use the super gun. That way he can get the XP to continue building up, and he doesn't have to have as high of a rifle skill to equip all the new shiny toys coming in. With this gun, I attempt repeatedly to get the Legolas achievement, which is kill or make 10 critical hits. Looking over the editing material leads me to believe that your ally counts towards this, both towards and against this. And maybe it's just a matter of coincidental timing of the achievement popping up. I don't know for sure, and this probably wouldn't be the case, but earlier I thought maybe it's because I was left-clicking to reload that it was counting as a shot and I didn't get the achievement. But looking closely at the shooting going on while editing, I thought, it looks like it might count your ally. So in this case, what I'm trying to do is I think I've already attempted maybe, say, 3 or 4 times to get the Legolas achievement on my own. So what I end up doing is either it's one of these two things. Either I'm trying for the Legolas achievement and letting the AI try to do it for me, or I'm so overconfident with this awesome gun that I just hand it over to the AI to take care of while I go get like a snack or something. Again, the day of this post commentary is 22nd of May. The day of the footage being recorded is the 8th of May. So almost 2 weeks there. And if you don't end up resetting your AI back to manual before you move to a new territory, you're going to get stuck doing auto. So I happened to put in auto for that one because I'm assuming that the enemy forces I saw were enough that an AI could handle it. But when you're moving into a territory, there's no guarantee that it'll be the exact same army setup. Look how tiny that reticle is. That's the power of this gun. So I'm trying for the Legolas, so then I mess up there. But you'll see me try it for a little bit. And then there's my ally hitting 2 to the chest. So what looks like this should be 10 for me gets me nothing. So I go ahead and just start making chest shots for the time being, just because I don't feel like there's enough. So I think there were like about 35-ish zombies. Right now, while I'm doing this post commentary, I'm playing this through Vegas with a headset on, so I can hear the sounds while I'm talking over it. And the window is both shrunken and lower quality, so that it runs at a normal clip. So that when I'm talking, it's actually what should be synchronized or lined up with what you see. Because if it's set to a really high quality, it might lag a little bit. And then I think it is loosely possible that because I will lag and you will not, I'll be behind when I start talking. Like, I'll be talking about something you saw 5 seconds ago. So you can tell generally when I'm getting towards the end of a map when I start replacing things with workshops or putting more priority on workshops. So like the previous map, I start speeding this section up for you so that you can see that, you know, it's why my top stats suddenly change so drastically, that I drop in economy and increase in workshop. That's why. That is some intense damage, 36 per hit. I also have 10 grenades and 5 barricade repairs, so even if this place is low barricade strength, between that and my super gun, these zombies do not stand a chance. If you ever find that gun, hold on to it. Cherish it. Even if you get a bounty hunter with like 8 levels and big guns, it may be worth thinking about giving him a 2nd level on rifle and then just passing this gun over to him. Besides, the AI isn't too good with big guns anyways. Well, at least grenade launchers. Machine guns, I don't know. And there's my Legolas achievement. Thanks to Shadowplay, I can now get Steam achievements to show up. Unfortunately, Shadowplay still has that issue where after every 3.8 gigabytes it just stops the recording for that clip. It'll continue to record right after that, but there'll be a small audio gap. And then strangely, and I don't know if this is just a result of Shadowplay, because in my live commentary at the time I mentioned when this happens that suddenly my sound goes down, like the volume of what I'm hearing drops a lot. And I say I hope I hope it doesn't influence what you hear, because it normally doesn't. I can adjust my personal volume up and down all I want, and it doesn't change what the recording hears. Or at least that was the way it was with Fraps at the time. I felt like I also tested it with Shadowplay, because the audio is so low that it doesn't even show up as anything in Vegas, like as having sound. So what I did was I rendered it as an MP4 or MP3, that section, after raising its volume to like 10 decibels, not decimals. And then I do it a second time. So I put it back in the game, I raise it another 10 decibels, and then I render it as MP3 again. So now it kind of gets me a similar sound volume output as the normal gameplay sounds. It happens much later. Like, I think it'll be towards the end of the next episode. I could have just tried... I did try at first to do an audio effect in Vegas. I tried raising it 20 to 40 decibels, but it wasn't registering any changes. It didn't seem like it was making any difference. That's it for this post-commentary session. Thank you very much for watching Tran Wins Emerge Cities of the Apocalypse. I'll catch you next time.